Summer got you down. Need something to do.
Read a book or two.
Ooh, that's so good. You did so well.
Thank you. You threw me off. And I was like, oh, we got this.
No, I like how, like, even though I threw you off, you still, like, got it.
Yep.
Like, no, got it. I see what she's doing with
That's
this.
how we do this.
I know. It just, like, works.
Yep.
Well, because we're still stuck in summer and we can't fast forward to fall, we're trying to think of, and again, it's hot here, so ew, gross. No one wants to go outside.
Yes.
So trying to think of things that you can do, and more importantly, things to read for
Yes.
the summer, so you guys can, like, escape everything, escape your life, escape the heat, and just enjoy life somewhere else for a while.
Yeah. So what books do you have?
I have 3, and I also, you're so proud of me, I wrote down the authors, and I have the Go-Reads, or the Goodreads thing.
The ratings!
I have the ratings!
Oh my gosh. Okay, cool.
Okay, so the first one...
And this all makes sense. Like, if you check the ratings, it makes sense. But continue.
So the first one I was going to do is the Lich King book, Arthas, by Christy Golden, which is rated, like... Well, hold on. What was your scale again? I want to make sure I do
It needs
this
to
right.
be 4 or higher.
Okay, scaled 4.1. And the reason why I picked this one, it was one of the first books I read. And it was for me like a stepping stone from video games into books. So it's a deep dive into the lore of Arthas and his story of becoming the Lich King. And a lot of it is set where it's cold. It's so like, it's something like when I'm reading it, I feel like or chill.
Yeah.
And at the same time, but it's like going in depth, going through that story, and made me want to go back and resub to WoW. So it was kind of nice to go through that. So that's
Are you back on WoW?
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'm not back on WoW. I'm still on
Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy.
Got it.
But I'm like teetering between 8 and 14.
Got it.
So you say Final Fantasy, I'm like, let's talk about that. So yeah, Arthas is my number 1, Christy Golden, 4.1. So I think that works.
Yes.
That
works. Well, and that shows that people are interested in knowing how the Lich King became, who he is, and Christy did a fabulous job that people were appreciative of the story. They rated it a 4.1.
She is probably one of the better authors when it comes to the World of Warcraft stuff.
Did she also do that most recent one?
The Stormblood one? Or the whatever. With Jenna?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she's done like 6 or 7 of them.
Because I have that one.
Yeah, no, she's done 6 or 7 of those. But the Arthas one's good because not everyone's played through World of Warcraft 3, which is like the one game that's like... The problem with that is like you have to play this storyline. It's like, okay, defend yourself for 30 minutes. So it's a very long game to go through. So if you don't want to go through that, if you read the book that's taking you through the story of Arthas and how he essentially downfalls into Lich King. So that was one of them, in case you're looking for something kind of fantasy. The second one I actually got from Mark. And I don't know anything about this book. It is a Star Wars book that he reads, but he reads it constantly. Remember how we talked about people who
read books?
Mm-hmm. This is his go-to. I'm on vacation. I'm going to read this whole book all over again. It's called Shadow of the Empire by Steve Perry. It's rated 3.82, so it's under the 4 mark, but it had like
it's still higher.
15,000 people rating it. So I'm curious as to what it is, but it's just something that pulls Mark back every time. Like every time we go on vacation, he brings that book, and I didn't know what it was called because it's just he took the cover off, so it's just this red book with a black spine, and I was like, you're always bringing that same book, and he's read it over and over and over again.
Interesting.
So like
I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, I was like, well, Lich King for like fantasy stuff, Star Wars, wherever that goes, I'm assuming it's going to be that kind of thing, and I hear it's very in depth. Like they say, like going through the games or the books, like I think in anything really, it's like you lose so much when you do that versus just actually sitting down and reading it. So that's the second one. And then the other one is something I think we both read. Yeah. Ready Player One by Ernest Cline is a 4.28. And that one I was picking just because if you're wanting, well, it's fun, and it's definitely more of like if you're wanting like that retro kind of gaming, it's definitely setting a lot of games from the 70s and 80s.
And movies,
yeah. So it's kind of like it's like that pop culture book that you can just kind of escape to, even though it's set in the future. I mean, you can watch the movie, but read the book.
Yeah.
Read the book. I would do that. So yeah, something for you fantasy guys, Arthas, something for the, like, Star Wars kind of stuff, Shadow of the Empire.
Sci-fi.
And then, sci-fi. And then Ready Player One, also sci-fi, but pop culture and some fun little nuggets in there by Ernest Cline for you guys. So that's what... Once I can get through Harry Potter, that's on my docket to go through them again.
I like it.
I literally should have just done my top 3 as like Harry Potter 5, saying like, and just done all of those because I still have to read them. Like that's like these. I'm not reading these for the summer because I'm stuck on Harry Potter.
It's okay.
Someday.
You already read those.
Someday.
And it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that I picked are The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertelli.
And please explain these because I've never heard any of these books that you recommend, and I'm always curious of like what they're about.
Okay, so this one, remember my weird fascination with Simon versus the Homo sapiens?
Yeah, we couldn't get you off that for like 3 weeks.
Same lady. I decided to deep dive into some of her other books.
Recently?
This is the one of them, so I'm reading it right now.
Okay.
So it's actually about a girl named Molly, and seems to be that she's on summer break. So
Convenient.
perfect.
Convenient.
So conveniently done. So she is got a new summer job working at kind of like a little knick-knack store, like at their summer cabin.
Okay.
It almost seems like. So she went to like the summer cabin, or
Is she in high school or
they're in high school around that time. But again, it's like summer. It's like I think they may have. I can't remember if they graduated and they're going to college or if they're like
senior
in
next year or something.
Yeah, something like that. So I think that they're not at the summer cabin because like they know a lot of places. They're like talking. So I just started. Essentially what happens is she goes to this concert and it sounds like she has a group of friends, but one of the friends goes off to move somewhere. And so her sister, takes her along on all the things that they used to take the friend.
Okay.
So they have like 2 friends that are very like low key, don't go out and do things.
Yeah.
And then her sister and this other friend used to go out and do all these like clubbing, things like that.
Okay.
But now that friend moved, she drags these other 2.
Okay.
With her. So they're at this concert or like this club and they're hanging out and she has this shirt on from like a local band. And she goes into the bathroom and this girl is like sitting there and goes, "Oh my gosh, can you help me get me toilet paper?" So she's like washing her hands and was like, you know, like, okay. So like
I'll do that.
She hands this. Well, this girl comes out and she has this like local band t-shirt on.
Okay.
She's like, "Oh my god." And she's like, she's super hot. My sister will love her, blah, blah, blah. Because her sister's
single, I take it?
single and into girls. And so that's how it starts.
She was trying to hook her sister up.
She was trying to hook her sister up. Now,
That's
a little bit about Molly though is she's a little bit heavier.
Okay.
They say that in the book. I have no idea. Like, there's no pictures, nothing that shows anything on the book cover, things like that. So I'm not really sure how to gauge yet. But she's had 26 crushes, never had a boyfriend, never kissed anyone. So now her sister and her friend and everybody else like talks about how they've, you know, done it once or twice and this and that. So she like, I'm getting to the part where she's like, man, like this.
She's getting some serious FOMO.
Kind of feeling like I'm the only virgin, things like that. So she meets up or tells her sister, "Oh my God, I met your dream girl in the bathroom, blah, blah, blah." So these trail of events happen and they randomly meet up at the little like train thing. And then she's like, "Oh my God, that's the girl." So the girl comes over and she has like this boy there with red hair. You like that. So it's
Ding!
Yeah,
I'm already,
so
like, I'm intrigued.
So he keeps asking her questions and she's like, "Oh, I don't know." You know, like, and they're sitting on the train thing and then they get off on their stop and then the people kept going. So like that was it. She's like, "Oh, this will be it. Like, I'll never." That was a cute little like, because again, she's always crushing on people, but she never dates anyone. She's kind of awkward. She's a nerd.
Yeah.
So I can totally relate to her. So essentially, her sister is like, "Oh, I got that girl's number.
Nice.
Blah, blah, blah. And we're hooking you up with Freddie or whatever his name is."
The ginger.
Yeah, the ginger. Okay. So she's like, "Oh my God, what did you do?" But then the next day, she has to go to her first job, our first day of her job. And right away...
Please tell me he works there.
No. She meets this other guy. And he's real nerdy. And he's wearing a Lord of the Rings shirt.
Shut up. It's in the book?
Yes. And so I'm like, oh, and she's like, already it feels so comfortable talking to him. I don't know why, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like,
I'm going to look this up right now.
Yes, you're going to love Reed. It's Lord of the Rings Reed.
You literally said Lord of the Rings and a ginger. And I'm like, I think I'm going to be buying a book right now.
Well, the next day when she meets it or sees him,
yeah,
he's wearing, what shirt? He's wearing a different shirt. Was it Star Wars? No, I can't remember what the shirt is, but she makes fun of him.
I'm fucking looking up.
Yeah, the upside of Unrequited.
Okay.
By
Keep going.
Becky Albertalli. No, that's as far as I've gotten.
Oh.
So I have a feeling she's going to fall in love with Reed, but her sister on the back end is trying to hook her up with this other guy who she does think is cute. But I'm like, I see that you're going to go with Reed. Please go with Reed.
I hope she goes with the ginger.
He seems really cute. No, the ginger is the other guy that her sister's hooking her up with.
Okay, hold on.
That one.
It says it's a 4 even.
Nice.
On Goodreads.
I'm good.
It's also 94% of Google users like this.
Yep. It's a good one so far. And I'm only 40 pages in.
Like physically reading or Audible?
Physically reading.
Okay.
My Audible books that I'm currently reading.
Yes.
Must read is Name of the Wind. Patrick Rothfuss.
You finished it, right?
Frick. I finished it all 38 hours.
You love it?
Love it. Like, I almost wanted to, restart it and, see if I missed anything.
Huh.
But I'm like, okay, I should just go to book 2. Wise Man Fears. But I don't even want to ruin it. It's like the old... It's like what Harry Potter... I could see it be a Harry Potter book, but so much better written.
Okay. Well, do you mean that, written for you now is written for you back then? Because you are in a different mindset now. No.
Well written. The details, the things that he puts in there. Holy crap.
Shots fired.
Oh, it's so good.
Steve approved.
The thing that Steve says, it's really good, right behind us. So, highly recommend that. That's my number one. If you have any book that you want to read, please do audio or even read the book. If you have, it is a little bit thicker. Giggity. That's what she said. It's 600.
But that Schmidt one, he's like, tell me when. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious?
No way. So let's start over.
How thick's the book?
It's literally 600 some pages.
Oh, damn.
They had a 10th anniversary edition, but obviously I bought it. It's got red pages. And it's about this big.
Maybe
Seriously?
I should go.
Seriously?
No, you're kidding. Right?
Start over.
I feel because we saw an ad for burgers, and now I want burgers, and now I want to go buy these books right now.
Let's do it! You just literally spoke to my soul. Food, books, done. Date night. I will be there no matter who you are. Anywho.
You have a third one.
I have a third one.
So far, I feel bad because I'm like, oh, here's mine, and I'm the urge to write down yours. I'm like, all right. Story of my life.
Hold on.
I feel like Jenna's only allowed to do book recommendings.
No. That's not true at all. Hold on. I want to see what Name of the Wind was rated.
Well, you're at a 4 even for the upside, which I'm already... You literally said Ginger in Star Wars. I'm like...
When I was reading it... So I was reading it and I was just like, oh, okay. And she has the way that she writes it is not too advanced, but it's not dumbed down you're like... Oh my god, yeah, they found someone. Okay, fine.
Harry Potter book 1.
That's kind of
It was hard to get through. I'm sorry.
Okay, hold on.
It got really good once you got to 4.
Is it looking for? Okay. There we go. Oh, shit. Name of the Wind.
I found it.
King Killer Chronicles at a 4.54.
Ooh, that's really
with
good.
609,000 ratings.
That's the highest rate so far. That's the highest rated recommended book so far.
And I've already finished this one, so currently reading. I need to pop this
how
right now.
How nice is it to be on Goodreads and you switch it to red?
Done!
Isn't it nice? You go,
Can I tell you something?
I love doing that.
Do you do the reading challenge? Have you ever heard of the reading challenge?
I've heard of it. I've never done it.
So, little trick. It makes you feel super amazing. I set mine at a whopping 10. I nailed it!
Oh my god!
You passed books by reading 15 books.
That's awesome.
Oh, I love Fangirl. Okay, so next book that I would recommend, which I'll get the rating real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, because I feel like we need to do the ratings, just because it goes into what you're saying we need to look at.
Yes. Let me see.
We're being edumacated, and I have sparkles on me.
Edumacated.
Hey, son, trying to sneak on in.
Oh, cute. So there's 2. But I'll just.
Are you sneaking 2 in?
I'm not gonna describe either.
I'll allow it.
I'll just give the title. So highly
fun.
recommend Will Grayson. Absolutely love that book.
Yeah.
It did only get a 3.8, so I'm in there with Mark's 3.82.
But there's something to it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was so sweet.
If you want to hear the whole thing,
he didn't like it at all.
Go back to our last 4 episodes,
Yeah.
and she's been talking about this book for a while.
I love that book. Anywho, so it's very dear to me. Okay. I love it so much. I literally started reading it, laughed literally out loud, which doesn't normally happen often. Went and bought the audio, was listening to the audio, and they switched people reading it.
Yeah.
Because this book is written by 2 different authors.
Oh.
One is John Green, who wrote Fault in Our Stars.
Yeah.
And the other one is the one that's Everyday or something, David Leviathan. And so they did 1 chapter each, and each person is a Will Grayson. Oh. And they meet somehow in the book. This is the one I was telling you about. Yeah. They meet somehow in the book, and then their lives unfurl, etc.
Okay.
The next one would be Fangirl. It's a 4.08. This one is by Rainbow Powell. Her name is Rainbow.
That's
super
pretty
cute.
awesome.
So this is a book written about me if I was in an alternate universe. I feel like this would be me. So I can't remember her name in the book. She is a fanfic writer.
Oh.
She's 18 years old. Okay. She's been writing fan fiction on this fake story of Simon and Bass, who are vampires one's a vampire and is not they're not supposed to be friends.
Okay.
But then it's a Harry Potter style,
Romeo and Juliet kind of thing?
No, so they're 2 boys.
A curse on all your houses.
Yes. So it's 2 boys, and they're not supposed to be friends, etc.
Yeah.
She writes fan fiction on them loving each other, but never doing anything.
Okay.
It's always just that, oh, he made me feel this way, blah, blah, blah. So all these people are following her, and she's kind of famous, but nobody knows who she really is.
Okay.
And again, she's 18 years old, and she just writes this fan fiction. She loves writing. She goes to college, and she has a twin sister. So the whole story unfolds that she's going to college, and her twin sister, who she's literally been with every single second of her life, decides to tell her and break the news that she doesn't want to be her roommate. Because she feels like she needs to meet new people.
That makes sense.
Oh my God, her roommate is hilarious. The boy that falls in love with her is hilarious. The things that she goes through is just so real. Because you're oh my gosh, I can see this happening, and oh my God, I didn't know that this was going to happen. So her dad also is in the picture. Her mom left them.
Yeah.
Because her mom was I feel like I had kids too young. This is too much for me, and left.
Yeah.
Bounced. So it was just a nice, tight-knit group of her sister, her dad, and her. For the longest time, her dad starts having anxiety, has to be put into this institution.
Yeah.
So, and it's nice because they're kind of close, so they can drive back to go see him where the school they are.
Okay.
The sister starts getting into a bunch of
college shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was really touching, because you're shit.
I did that.
Well, and she ends up in the hospital, so there's parts in there. And through me listening, I listened to the book. I have the book physically, but I listened to the book, this one, and it was really well read. I was wow, this book never ends, but there's so many layers. You have just the fan fiction portion, then her roommate, then her dad, then her sister, then her mom.
This unfurled as you were describing.
But then it was just literally perfectly woven and perfectly done, and in between each chapter was a little snippet of the fanfic.
Interesting.
Oh, it was so good. So good. I highly recommend it. Summer reads. I loved it.
Oh my gosh.
Those were mine.
Okay. That was a lot. So we're going to move on to race class.
Sorry guys. I ruined it. Yay.